we're back with the lovely Tricia Taitt. Tricia, so you're talking about the courage to get off the treadmill.
Yeah.
What was that like? How did you find the courage? What was your driving force?
Wow.
What pushed you? Or pulled you, depending on how you look at it.
Sheer will and determination. And I think some people have mistaken it for ego. But it wasn't ego. It was
Mistaking it what?
my
drive?
push, my drive. Yeah.
Okay.
Because from a faith perspective, I would say that it's God. It was God inspired and God led, and I would totally give honor to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I know it wasn't ego. It was a quiet desperation to fulfill something that I hadn't been able to fulfill before.
If you were advising a group of young people,
Yeah.
how would you explain that? Why is that important?
Why is what?
To have that push, that drive, and that passion, the will, if so to speak.
It's everything. It forces you to do your best. The days when you really doubt yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you keep going and take another step forward. The days when people doubt you, I remember hearing conversations about people thinking, Tricia, you had $1 million education, you were making X amount of dollars on Wall Street. What are you doing? The moments when you feel like you're not sure what you're doing because you're comparing yourself against your peers. I've been to my high school reunions and business school reunions, and I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, but I was still going on a journey, a brave journey,
Mm-hmm.
jumping off of the treadmill and pursuing dance. And so, I would tell my younger self to be brave despite what the naysayers say. If you feel like that is your purpose and that's what you're called to do and that's the place that you find peace. And when I dance, I don't even see the audience. In fact, I don't want to see the audience besides the fact that it's black, it's dark in the audience. I don't want to see people watching me. I feel like I'm somewhere else. I zone off somewhere else. And that's how I know that, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And so, again, if I had to speak to my younger self, I would say just go forward despite what other people say and know that, if you have to change gears, nowadays it's okay. People are switching careers, every 10 years, and I feel like maybe I have another career in me. But it is okay. Dancers do other things when they've stopped dancing, and they choreograph, and they direct, and they become lawyers and stockbrokers and physical therapists. And probably at this moment, I probably would have gone from dance and gone and gotten my MBA. So, I would let them know that there's other avenues and there's life after dance if you decide that it's time to give it up.
I want to take us back to money matters.
Yep.
And shifting the mindset
Yep.
around money. So you said shift the mindset around money.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little. What does that mean for you?
I feel like I spoke about this earlier, that I have been in training with regards to money my whole life without me even thinking about it. And actually, my dad is a CPA, so he's also a numbers-driven person. So maybe it's in my genes too, but I would say that, people's relationship to money is generational, it's circumstantial, it's emotional. When I have my financial literacy sessions, I like to start off by taking the temperature in the room and finding out who's there, what they do, what is their relationship to money, and what are their hurdles with money. And before I even teach a thing, a teacher tool, I start off with that because I want people to have an awareness of where they are and acceptance of where they are and know who else is in the room and that there's a diversity of relationships with money. And so I like to take that temperature, see what I'm working with, and figure out who needs their mind shift. But most times the majority of the room needs a shift in mindset. But it's like, it's going from a place of, this thing is fearful, this thing is nerve-wracking, I'm anxious about it, I'm anxious anytime I have to talk about it, I don't want to deal with my bills, I don't want to see my bills, to thinking about opening your bills as information. If you don't have the information, how can you move forward? How can you function in your daily life? How can you function in your business?
This brings me to a very good question. Some people complain of anxiety. They ignore their bills. They don't open them. They're anxious when the bills arrive. They don't want to deal with it. What do you say to that?
That's the moment where I'm just like, it's like ripping the Band-Aid. The only way I can understand it is by thinking of something that gives me the same angst, or that gave me the same angst. Mm-hmm. Being on social media and technology, it's not my forte. But I have changed that into, I no longer own that. I approach it like I'm learning something new. And so I encourage myself to go to any sort of Silicon Valley conference, any sort of tech conference, social media workshop. I take the leap and I go in spite of. I rip the Band-Aid. I say rip open the bills, put it out on the table. Maybe you glance at it, and then you step away, and you come back to it. But denying it is not going to help anything, right? Write down how you feel about it. How you feel about it in the moment, what you wish you could do with it. Because I'm sure most people don't want to just not look at it. They want to be able to pay it off. And what prevents most people from not even want to look at their bills is thinking they can't afford the numbers that they see on the bills. Mm. So usually the issue is not the bill. The issue is, this is going to make me feel bad that I owe money that I don't have. So then the conversation becomes, how do you get to the money that you need in order to cover these bills? But we don't know how much you need until you actually look at it. You might only need $5,000 as opposed to $10,000. So by ripping the Band-Aid, you see what the wound is, and we can figure out a treatment plan.
What is a typical person or organization that will seek your advice?
Currently, I'm working with organizations run by creative professionals that their business ranges anywhere from $50,000 to a couple of million, $3 to $5 million. They have a small staff. They've been doing this for years, over 5 years, over 3 years maybe. And they need somebody to either put structure around it, so create some sort of financial infrastructure. So maybe they don't have accounting software. They've been doing everything in Excel, and we need to set up their software. So I prefer QuickBooks. A lot of numbers-driven people prefer QuickBooks. We set up their accounting software. We set up some policies and procedures on how to do things. In one case, I am establishing a budget, an annual budget, for an organization. And then in another case, I am working with a client who needs somebody to be detail oriented and like really do their accounting, day to day or week to week. So I go in a day or two a week, and I do a weekly report for them so that they can see where their cash flow is, so that they can see. And at the end of the month, I do a monthly report, so it's sort of like a recap. So here's where the business is. Here's the sales, here's the expenses, and here's what your net profit is, and here are some holes. And so I do that level of assessment for them. And the reason why we're doing that is because that particular client wants to expand somewhere else in the city, and their sales are currently flat. So I don't advise that they they make that leap yet. But if they want to, they have enough cash to do so, or they can take out a line of credit and not necessarily use their own cash, but use borrowed money. And these are the moments where using debt is a tool. Debt is a tool, right? It's not something to be afraid of. So someone can take out a line of credit and use that instead of using their own cash flow to buy themselves time to generate the cash flow in the new business to pay off loans.
How does someone find you?
Well, a couple of ways. My website blog is artandmoneymatters.wordpress.com, and I put out a weekly blog just talking about the issues, the money issues that we face and deal with. You can find me on Facebook at Art and with the ampersand Money Matters, and you can also find me on Twitter at Art Money Matters, so there's no and in the middle. And currently, and my email, artandmoneymatters@gmail.com. And when I say and, it's spell out the entire thing, artandmoneymatters@gmail.com. Currently on Facebook, I'm doing a little campaign. This year, I'm talking about changing the mindset. Change your mindset, change your life. And I want people to go, if you're on Facebook, to Art and ampersand Money Matters, and put in one word that describes you, where you are with money today, and a year from now, what would that word be? So, here's an example. This year, I'm a borrower. Next year, I'll be a lender.
I like the song of that.
Yeah. So I encourage people, if you're listening to this broadcast, first like the page, of course, and then please put in your one word for today. And you might be frugal today, and then you might be a little more strategic next year.
When you think of dance, what comes to mind?
Oh, I told somebody that dance is the fountain of youth. They're like, how come you look?
Me the other day?
Yeah, how? Well, I told that to you. I told to a bunch of other people. I mean, anyone I know who is a dancer, no matter how old they are, Carmen de Lavalade, she could just raise an arm and make it look elegant, flawless, and take like 20 years off of her just by doing. It's a fountain of youth. It is a place of peace. Of course, after the many hours of rehearsals and body aching and, trying to figure out what the heck you're doing in the first place. But it is a place of peace. It is honestly, as many times as I think about stepping away from it, doubting where I am in it, measuring myself to other people who have been committed to it for many, many years and are now, at the top of their game. I am passionate about it. Yeah, I love to watch it. I love to see it on bodies. I like the language that it speaks when it speaks the language, because sometimes certain dances don't speak a language. Aesthetically.
You're a company member of the Broadway musical Killer.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorites. Senior company dance with Forces of Nature Dance Theater and co-chair of the alumni affinity group Wharton Arts Network. During which of these experiences would you say brought out the best dancer? Is that a fair question?
No, it's not a fair question. Well, no, that's okay. I can answer it, of course. This is an interview. I love this. Well, the Wharton Arts Network doesn't challenge me to be a dancer. It challenges me to connect people of different artistic disciplines. And I'm, as an alumni of Wharton, I know that there are people that are business driven, but that also love the arts. And so it gives me an opportunity to connect to those people, and Art and Money Matters to connect to those people, because I don't just support entertainers or dancers or performers. I actually focus on multiple disciplines, which is visual arts, culinary arts, literary, applied, and media arts. So those 6 artistic disciplines are what my company focuses on. Forces of Nature has given me an opportunity and a platform to train in a very unique style of dance that is, that Abdel Salam has crafted and engineered and fine-tuned into his own style of Afro-fusion work. And I built a family there, and I built a home there. So to be able to do what you love and be with family at the same time, sometimes when it feels like work and when it feels hard, you're looking across from your sister and she's giving you a smile, and that takes you another place and makes you translate a different way. I would say Fela challenged me from a professional standpoint, because then it took my art to another level, which was more I don't want to say corporate, but very formalized.
Very formalized. I've had the distinct honor of interviewing or sitting down and conversing with several members of Fela.
Yeah.
And
they're great.
yes, awesome.
They're all amazing.
So I want to
dancers.
ask you this question.
Yeah.
Can you share with us, or would you share with us, a memorable experience with Fela?
With Fela.
There must be many, but just one.
Yeah, there are many. I mean, there was so I'm going to share two. One was the audition, like the whole audition process. So my family was heavily impacted by Hurricane Sandy. And so we were out without heat, hot water lights for about a month through Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving. And I want to say I wasn't sure about, how I would get back into dance. And then I saw the Fela audition. And I remember the journey to get to the audition and audition day. Audition day, I decided to go to a ballet class. I was rushing and late for a ballet class. And on the way to the ballet class, I fell and skated along concrete, and I injured the palms of my hand, and I looked at it, and it looked like a stigmata, and I was like, this can't be for real. What is this about? But I was very scared because I injured my body. I went to the audition. It was the first time that I was not nervous at all. I had a complete sense of calm, almost like I was having an out-of-body experience. And I went in the audition, and I gave them my best self, and it worked out. And I was so happy about getting into a musical that has been so significant and groundbreaking, and it felt like the height of all the work, not just the work that I've been putting in for the 5 years prior, but like all of the doubt and all of the quiet criticism, and it was a culmination of all of those things, and it was a very sweet moment. It was such a sweet moment that I wanted to treasure it, and I didn't tell anybody for months. I didn't publicize it on Facebook because I was afraid that it would be taken away. And so I only told my mom, but I was excited, but I was very nervous at the same time, because that moment of happiness and treasure, I really felt like I had worked so hard for that moment, and my life culminated in that moment, and I didn't want to lose it.
What did you learn about yourself during that period or after that period with Taitt? One thing.
to constantly believe in yourself and stay true to who you are. And I know that's very cliche, but when you start to figure out, when you start to do the work, the introspection work of figuring out who you are and what you were put on earth to do, then I feel like the universe navigates and aligns itself to connect you to where you're supposed to be. And I've been reading this book. Let me say I've been reading this book because I've read many different chapters of this book, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. And I never really finished the book, but I don't think I'm meant to finish the book yet. But the purpose of the book is to tell you that there is a reason that we are all put on this earth with the gifts and talents and dreams and hopes and interests that we have. There's a reason why some people can't dance and some people can't cook. Some people can, and some people can do something else. And to tune into those things, tune into that frequency, and explore it and figure out why it's there, and then surround yourself with like-minded people to help you flourish in that place, and then constantly work at being faithful and honoring yourself and what that thing is, and then something beautiful can honestly happen at the end.
You are a certified Pilates instructor.
Yes.
It seems kind of silly to ask you this because you're a dancer as well, but when did this intimacy with fitness begin?
Oh man, it's through dance.
Through dance, all right.
Honestly, through dance. I had a dance injury, and but I know I needed to dance. And dancers are athletes, so athletes play hurt, dancers play hurt, and I needed a modality that helped me, that not only restored me and rehabilitated me, but also helped me dance.
Mm-hmm. How long ago was this?
I don't know, maybe 2010. And I was in Forces of Nature at the time. And so the artistic director's wife was Diane Harvey Salam. She's a Pilates instructor. I'm going to say second generation to Joe Pilates, and has learned from Kathy Grant. And she was working at a physical therapy office that had the Pilates equipment, and she introduced me to them as a client. And I started off as a client, and then I loved it so much that I took the certification program, became certified, and learned how to transform other people's bodies. And that's the part that I love the most, besides using it on my own set. I'm able to transform people's bodies. I'm able to be more aware of others' bodies. So if my mother's in pain or friends are in pain, I can say, oh, it's probably that muscle in this thing. I am not formally educated in any of it, but because I have gone through my own, issues as a dancer, I'm more aware. And I love teaching people. Like at the end of all of this, I love teaching people. So whether it's through Pilates or financial education.
I have a few more questions I want to ask you.
All right, shoot.
Time is like,
all right.
Well, really upon us.
Okay.
But I'm going to do a little rapid fire.
Great.
Period, right? Who are the people and professionals in your life that help you to be your best self? Just quickly.
So I have some spiritual advisors.
Yeah.
Do I need to name names, or can I just say what they are?
Just whatever your spirit is telling you right now.
Oh, okay.
This is your moment.
Okay. So I mentioned Nafisa because she introduced me to meditation, and that has been amazing. People who are like me, who are also going through this journey of starting a new business or starting a book, they inspire me. If they're able to write a book, or if they're able to start a blog somewhere, I'm like, oh, I can do that thing. There's a woman in Miami by the name of Felicia Hatcher that is doing coding for teenagers, teaching them how to code. And she started Black Tech Week.
Just call your name so we can...
Oh, okay. John Hall. There's so many, I can't even...
I know.
Keep going so we can get through it.
Who most inspires you?
That's really hard.
Okay. We get back to that.
Yeah, please.
if some of the older women in your family, including your grandmothers, I don't know if they're still alive, and your mom, were telling younger women in your family a story, what particular story or what would that story sound like? What do you think it would
A
say?
story about me?
No, a story about anything.
About anything?
Yeah. What do they like to talk about?
I call the 3 or 4 Caribbean women in my house the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. Because they give an authentic Caribbean, down to earth, no nonsense attitude answer to anything.
So if you were eavesdropping a conversation
Yeah.
where, again, your mom,
Uh-huh.
your grandmothers were telling a stranger about you, what would each say? One line each. How would they describe you?
And go back to bold, ambitious, and tenacious. I remember one saying, "I'm not surprised Tricia is in Hong Kong, living in Hong Kong. What is Tricia up to now? What new thing is she? What is she doing now? They're not surprised anymore."
When are you most happy?
When I'm with family, especially the little ones in my family.
What profession, other than dance and finance, would you like to try if you had a chance?
A professional traveler. You see these people that have these shows where they go and try the food and the culture of different countries. I would love to do that.
Professional. Okay.
Yes.
What are you most thankful for?
Oh, I'm most thankful for my faith. Again, my family. So
What is one thing about you most people are surprised to learn about you when they get to know you?
Que puedo hablar español.
And if you speak Spanish,
Yeah.
I see.
They think I'm Dominican or Panamanian or something when I start to speak to them in Spanish.
And what is gratifying about being Taitt?
The level of courageousness and daredevil.
I like that. If you had a chance to go back in time, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
To enjoy moments, to enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride. I was very intense as a younger. I still am a little bit, but to really enjoy it.
Finish the sentence to me.
No.
I dance because.
It's my purpose. I breathe. I dance because I breathe.
If you had the chance to ask me, or if I were to ask you, the question that would bring out. I'm not going to do it. No. All right. If I were to ask you a question that would bring out the best answer about you, what would that question be?
What is the people that know you the best, how would they describe you?
All right, let me ask you that then, Tricia. The people that know you the best, right?
Yeah.
How would they describe you?
I am a huge kid at heart. I'm a big kid. I am sensitive. I may be outspoken and bold and ambitious and audacious, but I am when I really care about something and when I'm really loyal to something, I put my heart there. And so I'm really sensitive to certain things that I'm passionate about. But most importantly, I'm a kid. I love pancakes. I still love cartoons, and that's why being around the little ones in my family give me the most joy.
All right, this is the last question of the evening. What makes you laugh out loud?
Jokes and silly situations. Like, I do that a lot, again, with my family, the people that know me the best. I do impersonations.
You do?
I do faces. I'm sure you saw my many different faces.
No,
whatever. I just like to make people laugh. And, that's what makes me laugh out loud. What made me laugh out loud? The last thing that made me laugh out loud, I listened to Jamie Foxx do a rendition of Luther Vandross and Kirk Franklin, and he took me back to the 80s where we had slow jams and you'd make your own slow jam tape. But he is hilarious, and I laughed out loud. It was great.
What is your favorite song to sing?
Probably India Ari Beautiful. Yeah, India Ari Beautiful would be one of them. One of many. But to sing out loud, Luther Vandross, oh my gosh, I have to, Don't You Remember You Told Me You Loved Me, Baby? That song.
That's it.
Oh.
Next time around, you sing it live.
No, you don't want my facial expressions. Because there's a whole instrumental section that leads to the song that I know the harp and when the violin, no, it's an experience. That's an experience.
Tricia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For sharing your time with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And this is Salvador Collins saying good night, and fear not what fear whispers to you, fear your obedience to it. Good night.
This is day one of Artists Live's New York trip, and we are at Princess Juliana Airport, heading to JFK in a couple of hours. Stay tuned.
Artists Live!
I have to go check in.
Dans l'avion, ça y est, on est bien reparti, ça va être génial. We're in the Big Apple. Continue your journey.
We got to the hotel and we got a welcome and we got a bunch of gift bags for our rooms and we got like cookies and drinks and all that, so that was really nice with our Artists Live logo on it. So they're really supporting us and they want to show our art and different things like that, so we're really happy. It's cool.
This is day one of Artists Live.